In this lesson, we'll learn how to set up dynamic parenting systems. Dynamic parent control is very flexible because with it we can choose what an object will follow. So take our eye control. If we wanted to have it follow the head control, well, we can set up a switch to turn that feature on. And then if we wanted to turn it off, well, we can use that same attribute to do so. That way we can either choose to have the eyes focus on a specific object or to follow with wherever the head moves. Alright, let's go ahead and start to build this. What we'll do is go ahead and grab our main control for the eyes. Let's head over to our Modify panel, and we're going to create an attribute holder. We're basically getting ready to create a custom parameter, and we'll have it tied to this control. Now let's go ahead and right-click and rename our attribute holder to Extra Controls. Alright, we'll press Alt-1, and we'll name our parameter Follow Head. Alright, great. So we'll want our range to stay the same. When this is at 0, that means the eyes will not follow, and at 100%, they will. Let's now go ahead and choose Add. Alright, so the next step is to create a group above this control, and that group will hold our constraints. So let's go ahead and create a group with the control selected. We'll name this GRP CNS, simply stands for constraints, and then we'll go ahead and add underscore anim underscore eyes 01. Alright, we'll now want to open this group so we have access to it and the control. With the group selected, let's say we go ahead and freeze its transforms to clean that up. And we'll also have it stored in our hidden layer. Okay, so now it's time to create objects that the group will be constrained to. Let's go ahead and work with helpers. So we'll create a point helper, and let's go ahead and align this over to our eye control. So we'll go ahead and press Shift-A. We'll go ahead and click on that control object. Now what we're going to want to do is clone this. So let's clone the helper. And let's go ahead and change its display. So instead of cross, let's go ahead and work with box. Now here's how this is going to happen. One of these helpers will be linked to our head control. The other one is going to be linked to our global control. That way the eyes can follow the world using the helper that's linked to our global control, and then the eyes can follow the head using the helper that's linked to the head control. So let's go ahead and set this up now. With this helper selected, the one that we have changed the display of, let's go ahead and have that linked to our head control. Okay, great. Once that's done, I'll go ahead and freeze its transforms, and we'll have this renamed to PTDRV underscore eyes underscore head, so we know what it's tied to, 01. We'll now grab the first helper we made, and we'll have that linked to our global control. Great, let's go ahead and freeze its transforms. And then we'll have this renamed. So that's going to be PTDRV underscore eyes underscore global 01. Alrighty, so now we can go ahead and grab both, and we could have them stored in our hidden layer. Okay, so now it's time to set up some constraints. We'll set up both a position constraint and an orientation constraint. Alright, so grabbing our group, let's go ahead and start by constraining to the object that's tied to our head. So that's this box-shaped helper. So the group selected, we'll head over to Animation, Constraint, and we'll apply a position constraint. And we'll also apply an orientation constraint. There it is. Alright, beautiful. There should be no need for keep initial offset because the control object is already oriented to the world. It's the same orientation as a helper by default. So we are good to go. Let's go to now set up constraints, and we'll tie those constraints to our helper that's linked to the global control. So again, we'll select our group, we'll choose animation constraints, we'll grab our position constraint, we'll tie that to the next helper, and we'll do the same thing, but this time using the orientation constraint. All right, so now you'll see that we have this average as we start to kind of move this around, where the control slightly follows the character's head. It's blending between the head and our global control node. So what we now need to do is go ahead and set up our switching feature. We need to make sure that when the head is controlling this object, that we zero out the weight on our global control and vice versa. So this would be a good moment to stop the lesson. Let's go ahead and finish our dynamic parent rig in the next lesson.